Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is the end of the day. I am sitting in my room. I have officially like claimed this, like my little chit chat corner. It's like the only area in my room that is normally not a disaster from like the kids playing with other stuff. But, like every month I wanted to sit down and chat with you guys, let you guys know how I'm doing and just kind of vent to you about what's been going on. A lot of new stuff has happened, so a lot of things that Jackson is now doing, like his sleeping through the night and baby-led weaning and all of that, it's kind of affected how I've been feeling lately, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But man, this is a freaking roller coaster. I feel like lately, I don't know what it is that's going on. I mean, there's so much going on in the world, but I feel like there's some days that I'm awesome and I've got it and I'm doing good, and then there's other days, like the past 2 days have been terrible days for me mentally. I have just been so over everything and like dealing with my 2.5-year-old who is in a stage where, number one, she's just like saying no to everything. Like anything I tell her, it's no. And then the other thing that she's into right now is like she does not stop talking. And I know that that's not gonna change anytime soon, but like she's in a stage where if she wants food, she'll say like, I want some papa please, and then if you don't answer her like right that second, she'll be like, papa please, papa please, papa please, papa please, papa please, and you're like, okay, I heard you, it's just I don't want to give it to you right now. So I'm dealing with a little bit of that from Riley, that good Lord knows that I love her to death, but it's annoying. And then of course, you know, Jackson's got his own thing. But let's just start off on a somewhat positive note. I know I just kind of started with the things that are annoying me, but let's start off on a positive note. Jackson is officially sleeping in his own room. He is sleeping through the night, and I could not be happier about that, okay? Joe and I have our room back, so in the evenings after we put both of the kids to bed, we can come hang out in our bedroom, watch TV. I can take a shower every day now because our shower has always been like in our master suite, and Jackson's always slept in our master suite. So I've been able to take a shower, relax, not feel rushed when I'm taking a shower. So that has been amazing. It's been really great for me just mentally to know that I have my space back. So I know that I was waiting for this milestone. So glad that we are finally here and that we've been able to transition him to his room. It's like the first 6 months of both of my kids' life, I had no life of my own after they went to bed because I was always like room sharing and stuff. So now I have this whole extra part of the night, at least 3 or 4 hours, where I can just unwind in my room, and it's amazing. So that's been great for me. It's been great for Joe. What else is new? The baby-led weaning is happening right now, and so that has attributed to the major anxiety that I've been having lately. This month, I feel like my anxiety is at an all-time high. I don't know if it's just things with the kids or external forces, all the stuff that's happening in the world, the fact that we are now here in Virginia. We don't have any immediate plans to go back home and visit family. Like there's a lot of stuff that's, you know, that I'm adjusting to again, but my anxiety has been unreal. So with baby-led weaning, that has affected every one of our meal times. So at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm kind of on edge because I'm scared to death of him choking, but I've been enjoying giving him new foods to try, and the baby-led weaning process, I'm excited that we're doing it and that he's not just going to be stuck on purees like Riley was, because now she's a terrible eater, and I think it's because we never gave her anything but purees. But that is no joke. Baby-led weaning is not easy for an anxious mama because anything that he puts in his mouth, I'm scared that he's gonna choke. So he'll be eating and I'll just like be staring at him, you know, just the entire time that he's eating. And then like if I think that he's putting something a little bit too big in his mouth, I'll kind of try to reach for it, even though I know you're not supposed to do that, but I can't help it. So it's a new thing that I'm adjusting to, that I'm learning how to navigate, but it's definitely extra stress on me that I didn't have before. And then on top of that, we've got a crawler now, so Jackson is crawling, and that has also made me super anxious because I feel like he's moving so fast, and if I take my eyes off of him for like 2 seconds, literally like 2 seconds, if my eyeballs are not on him, I feel like he's gonna grab something, put something in his mouth, hurt himself in some way, and I feel like I cannot relax or like just not be on edge unless he's taking a nap or asleep at bedtime. I feel like I'm constantly on edge between him and Riley, and you know, I'm trying to make myself breakfast, but I can't see Riley, or if I'm looking at Riley, then obviously my eyes can't be on Jackson. So I feel like I need another pair of eyeballs on the back of my head. Like, I know people used to use that phrase like around me, and I didn't really quite understand what they meant by that, or I didn't fully understand what that entailed. But now I do, because I do feel like I need an extra pair of eyes on the back of my head, because I want to be watching both of the kids, plus doing what I need to get done in that moment. Even something as silly as, I don't know, opening the front door to get a package in, or something, anything stupid like that. I have to like be like, wait, okay, am I gonna take Jackson to the front? But if I take Jackson, then where's Riley, or vice versa, you know? So it's hard juggling both of them. It is still not something that I am used to, and it is still not something that comes easy to me, but I'm hanging in there, The kiddos are still alive. I'm alive somehow, but I feel like a crazy person. I really do. I feel somewhat insane. And then going back to Jackson's like sleeping, he's sleeping well at night, but he's waking up early in the morning. He's waking up like around 5:30. But the biggest issue that we're having right now is with his naps, because his naps are still like 30 minutes long. I'm trying to like play around with wake windows and play around with different schedules so that we can get him to take longer naps. And all of that is giving me a lot of stress and anxiety, because I'm trying to get it right? And when it doesn't go right, I get frustrated. Like today, I had put him down for a nap. I was hoping that I'd get a long stretch of a nap. And at the 30-minute mark, Joe had the electrician here at the house. And at 27 minutes, I was looking at the clock. The electrician turned on his drill and woke up Jackson. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was so upset. And like, obviously I know it's not Joe's fault. It's not the electrician's fault. It's nobody's fault. But I was pissed because my child was awake again, and I was trying to get him to do a long nap. All of that is stuff that stresses me out throughout the day. I wish that I could just be like, whatever, if he naps, he naps. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But I'm not there. Like, that's not where I'm at. I'm at a place where I'm really trying to get it right, and I'm really trying to get him to take his naps, because if he doesn't nap, then that just means he's extra cranky throughout the day, and then my entire day is even more stressful because I've got a cranky baby, I've got a cranky toddler, and then that's just a recipe for disaster. But it's not easy, and I know that all of this is normal. I know in the back of my mind, like, I know that this can take a while for people to get the nap schedules right, and the whole transitioning from 3 naps to 2 naps, it doesn't happen overnight for a lot of people. You've got to figure it out and play with different things. So I know that none of this is like abnormal, but it's still frustrating. There's a lot that I'm trying to do, and it's not going 100% how I would want to. Even though we've made big progress, I'm not like taking away from the fact that Jackson is now in his room, and I am so happy about that. There's still other things that I'm trying to do with him, like extend his naps and like the baby-led weaning and things like that, that are more difficult. There have been a couple times this month, like 2 days ago, I had a little bit of a meltdown. Joe had actually been outside of the house that day because he's been going into work a couple days, like here and there, like for meetings and stuff. He's been going in, but not like on a regular basis. So he was out of the house, I think, that day. And when he came back home, I just lost it, and I was just bawling. I was just crying, and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I just had a very long, hard day with 2 kids. Still love my life, still love my kids, still love my husband, but it was just an emotionally draining day, and I felt like I couldn't get anything right, and it was just rough. And it's just funny because the other day I went on Instagram and I shared that yes, I do have breakdowns sometimes, because I think somebody asked me that question, like, do you have meltdowns or do you have breakdowns, because I feel bad when I have them. And I let everybody know, like, yes, I've had these meltdowns before, and I think that's normal. I mean, I think that's normal. But I posted in my response, like, I have had meltdowns. If you haven't, let me know, like DM me, let me know, because I'd love to know your secrets. And I said it in a very like sarcastic-ish kind of way, because I figured there's no way that, like you haven't had some kind of a bad day or breakdown. So I wasn't really expecting anyone to actually message me back. But I got a message back from a girl that I used to go to like Gymboree with. I used to see her there, and she's super nice and I really like her. She's got the cutest little daughter. But she messaged me back and she's like, you know, I actually have never had a meltdown. And my first instinct was like, friggin' good for you. And she said that the one reason why she hasn't had a meltdown is because when she found out that she got pregnant, she saved up money to hire a nanny twice a week for a kid. And I was like, okay, well, that's great. And she said that, you know, she works from home, so she's very busy and she's got a lot of stuff that she has to take care of. So there's a couple days a week that the nanny comes and I guess takes care of her daughter and of some of the stuff in the house, and then those are the days that she can like devote to her stuff, and then she comes back feeling refreshed for her kid and all of that. And I was like yeah, like that would be really nice. And no shade to her at all, she's super cool, I'm super cool with her, but I was like, yeah, that's probably what it takes to not have a meltdown. Having help, having someone that can assist with some of the duties at home, or just give you that break to disconnect, like that would definitely help, right? But I know that that's not the reality for most people. Most people can't afford a nanny or even just someone to watch their kid. But I thought I'd share that with you guys. I thought it was funny, like that, yes, the response that I got was, if you don't want to have a breakdown, basically, you know, hire a nanny, someone to help you a little more often. You know, if I had someone to professionally clean my house every day or to cook for me every day, if I was super rich, like living the dream, you know, and I had someone that could do everything for me, and even somebody here at the house that could watch both of the kids for a couple hours every day or every week here and there, I think I would be less stressed out. Yeah, I would have extra pairs of hands. I would, you know, be able to clean up the table, you know, and not have a screaming child that I'm trying to figure out, do I clean up the table or do I attend to a screaming child? Like my entire day is full of just me trying to juggle all of the things that are going on. So yes, having extra hands would definitely help with that, but that's not my situation right now. And it's funny because Joe even asked me the other day, like, would that be something that you're open to, having a nanny, having some help around the house? And I told him that if COVID wasn't going on, I would maybe entertain the idea of hiring a nanny maybe like once a week, just to, you know, play with the kids. Like I'd still be home, I wouldn't leave my house with the nanny like watching them because I'm too paranoid for that. But I would maybe entertain the idea of having a little bit of help, maybe once or twice a week, where someone can play with them for a couple hours and I can get a couple things done. But we're not there yet, so that's just something that I wanted to talk about, you know, the idea of having help, having no help. If you guys are new here by any chance, I used to live in Miami, Florida, and that's where my whole family is. My parents are there, and I used to get a lot of help from my parents. And now we are in Virginia and we are all by ourselves. Like we really don't know many people in the area at all. Like Joe has a couple coworkers, but we haven't even hung out with them since COVID happened. So we're basically here on our own. It's just the two of us, and it's been hard to adjust to that with the two kids. And just when I think that we're getting in the rhythm, you know, I'm getting the hang of it, something else happens. Like now Jackson's crawling, so now he's more mobile, so now I have to be chasing after him all day. On a more like physical note though, like a lot of what I mentioned was a lot of mental stuff, but physically I feel like I have had a few days this week that I told you guys in my last update that I'm gonna go get my blood drawn so that I can get a blood test and see if any of my levels are off or anything like that, because I have like no energy. But this week, oh my god, yesterday I literally, like halfway through the day, had already eaten lunch, and halfway through the day I felt like I had gotten run over by a truck. I was laying down in bed and I was like giving Jackson some toys on the bed so he could like stay entertained up there, so I could just lay down and just rest because my body was exhausted. Like Joe even came up after his lunch and he was like, do you want me to take Jackson so you can nap? And I was like, praise Jesus, thank you, yes, like please take him. And I was just so happy to get like 15 minutes to myself. But my body is tired, and you know, I'm gonna be 30 next month. I'm turning 30, but I'm not 100 years old. I should be able to get through the day without feeling so tired. So I don't know if you guys feel that way too. Like I feel like every time that I say that I'm tired, like extremely tired, some people are like, well, just welcome to motherhood, you're gonna be tired the rest of your life. And I'm just like, great. But I don't know, I've seen recommendations for like taking magnesium. I don't know what that's supposed to help with. I've seen other people tell me maybe my iron is low. I don't know what's going on. That's why I'm gonna go to the doctor next month. I have an appointment in August to get that done, and I'm looking forward to it to see if there's anything that I can take to help me. But man, I've just been like super tired. Now let's talk about something that somebody asked me also on Instagram the other day. Somebody messaged me and they asked me whether or not I felt like I was the default parent. Have you ever heard that term before? Default parent? Because it's something that I've been kind of like hearing more often and giving more thought to. But hell yeah, I feel like the default parent. I'm the mother. My husband is amazing. I've told you this many times. Joe is the kind of guy that will do absolutely everything that I tell him to do. Like, he's wonderful. He really is. He's not perfect. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. But he's a really good partner and he helps me out so much. Right now he's doing all of Riley's bedtime routine and he helps me clean. You guys have seen like the funny like little videos that I've been posting on Instagram because Joe's a Virgo, so he's super OCD, loves to like get things clean, and so I've been like secretly recording him sometimes when he's like mopping the floor and stuff. So yes, he helps a lot. He definitely pulls his weight around here. But when it comes to the kids, regardless of how much he helps, I still feel like the default parent. I feel like if it's a Saturday and we're both on the couch and the kids are in front of us like on the floor on the rug playing with their toys, one of them starts to cry, or if one of them is about to touch something they shouldn't, like I'm the one that has to always step in. I'm the one that always has to go attend to them. If they're crying, I'm the one who first immediately picks them up. And I know that a lot of that just comes with the fact that I am the mother. I am the mother, I have the maternal instinct, and I don't blame him for that. But at the same time, like, is there ever gonna be a point where it's a little bit more equal? I don't know. I honestly don't think so, if I'm being straight up honest with you guys. I don't think that there's ever gonna be a 100% like 50-50 split in like how often I'm with the kids versus how often he's with the kids, or you know, how much effort we both put into the kids. I'm just naturally around them more. I'm home all day and I have to breastfeed Jackson. So we're still evaluating roles, and we're still trying to get to a place where we both feel comfortable, where I feel like he's pitching in enough with the kids that I'm not just always the default parent. But it's hard, and figuring out roles and stuff is hard. I'd be giving him a harder time if he didn't help me with the house, if he didn't help me with other things around here, but he does. So in that respect, like, I can't say like, oh, he expects me to be with the kids all the time and cook dinner and clean up, because he definitely doesn't. I've told you many times, I don't really cook, I don't like to clean. He definitely pitches in with that. But just to give you an example, like the other day, I was telling him a story like about how now every time that I go to the bathroom, I take Riley with me. And now, you know, I was using the bathroom and I was not peeing, I was doing number 2, and as soon as I finished, she's like, okay mama, now wipe your butt. And so I was telling Joe this story because it was a funny story. She said, you know, mama, wipe your butt. But in me telling him that story, he's like, what do you mean, you take her to the bathroom with you and you have to use the bathroom, like when you have to go number 2? And I was like, yes, obviously, like otherwise I'd freaking explode. Like, of course I have to take her. I have to take sometimes her and Jackson into the bathroom if I gotta go and there's no one else around. He's like, oh man, like I don't think I could do that. Like I think I'd get stage fright. Like that's literally what he said to me. And I'm like, well, good for you. Good for you that you would never have to do that. But I do, I guess, because I'm the mother. That to me is the epitome of like the difference between being a mom, being a dad, being the person who is more of the default parent versus not. But I was like, damn, must be nice to poop in peace. So yeah, right now we're just at a point where we're trying to figure out how to equally split any extra time that we have. Joe is working during the day. During the day, I'm taking care of the kids. And I'm also doing, you know, YouTube stuff and blog work. Like I'm still doing my business stuff. So I've got the kids plus trying to juggle the business stuff. Meanwhile, Joe is working. So once work is done, like once it's 5 o'clock or whatever his cutoff time is, like in that afternoon time, what does that look like so that we can both get a little bit of time to ourselves? Like Joe loves to work out. That's his thing. And I don't want to take that away from him, but we're trying to figure out, you know, how many days a week are you gonna be able to work out after you go to work? Because if he's working out from 4 to 5, then after 5 o'clock, it's dinner time and, you know, bedtime routine and all of that. So then when do I get like a break? You know what I mean? Like he gets time to work out, when do I get that time, or when do I get the time to work out, or when do I get the time to just disconnect while the kids are still awake. So we're trying to figure out, like, does it look like maybe us trading days, or do we each get like 30 minutes every day? Like, what does that look like, so that we both feel like we each get some time to ourselves? Because being with the kids the entire day is really hard. I love him to death. We are gonna figure it out. We're just communicating more about it, so that none of us get to the point where we resent each other, or where I'm just pissed at him all the time because I feel like I get no time and he gets time to do whatever he wants. So we're working on that so that we're at a happier place. It definitely takes a lot of communicating and saying, you know, this is how I felt today and this is what I'd like to happen moving forward. So we're talking a lot. We're still doing our nightly, like, praying together and saying one thing that we appreciate about each other, which I have loved doing, and I'm so glad that my mom recommended that, because it has totally, like, reshaped our nighttime routine, and I definitely feel more appreciated because of it. So that has been working awesome. Believe it or not, people are still asking me if we're gonna have another kid, and honestly, I really don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't see that happening, because I feel like even if we were in Miami, like, at first I was like, I can't have another kid because we're away from family, we have no help. If I'm drowning with 2 kids, how am I gonna, you know, make it work with 3 kids? At first, that was my only, like, this is why it's not gonna happen. But the more that I think about it right now, I don't think that my anxiety would, like, do well with me having another pregnancy. I would be anxious the entire pregnancy, like, hoping that, you know, nothing goes wrong with the pregnancy, and then I don't know that I could deal with the anxiety of, you know, all the things that would come with having another newborn. So I think, like, I'm like 80% sure that we're done, and I love both of my kids. I adore them. They are the light of my life, but I think that's it. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to touch on this month. If you guys have any questions about anything, let me know down below. I'm planning on actually filming a birth story coming soon, because Jackson is almost 8 months old and I haven't filmed his birth story. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the labor process and stuff. So if you guys have any questions about that, you can also leave those down below. But weight wise, I'm doing good. I'm 116 pounds. My stomach is pretty much the same as the last time that I showed you, but I'll show you anyway. I've been living in these, like, boyfriend shorts and, like, these little tank tops, but these are a size 2, so I'm happy with the fact that I fit in a size 2. They're just like high-waisted little shorts, and that's my stomach here. Stretch marks are still there, but overall I'm very happy with where my body is right now. I can't complain. So thanks for hanging out with me again this month. Thanks for listening to just my rants about life and how hard it is. I don't want you guys to think of it as, like, me just complaining. I really don't. Like, I say some things to, you know, just kind of be humorous and stuff, but I honestly don't want you to think that I'm just upset with my life, or that I'm unhappy about my life. I'm not unhappy. It's just hard. And I feel like sometimes if you say that it's hard, or you say that you're going through a rough time, you know, people want to dismiss it, or people want to be like, you know, you have everything great in life, like, why are you complaining? And I just want you guys to know, like, if you're going through a hard time, like, so are a lot of us, and that's okay. It's perfectly normal to be going through a hard time. Doesn't mean that you don't like your kids, doesn't mean that you hate your life, doesn't mean that you're gonna actually literally jump out of a freaking window. Like, some days I want to, right? I think about it and I tell you, like, oh my god, I'm gonna freaking jump out a window. I'm not really gonna jump out a window, but you know, I'm at the point where I'm annoyed beyond belief. I can't even friggin' hear myself think. So yes, I would like to be in a window. You know, we're all just doing the best that we can, and this is the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my life. I'm a pretty smart person, pretty educated. I think I know how to get through a lot of things, but this by far has been the hardest emotionally, mentally, physically thing that I've ever done. So you're not alone. I'm here for ya. If you ever want to chat, vent, whatever, DM me, message me. We all need to have people that we can go to, and that when you tell a man, I freaking failed today, like, I freaking, like, you know what I did, like, yesterday? My beautiful child, Riley, who literally is just driving me insane. She has, like, these little milk cartons. I had bought them because of COVID. They were shelf stable, whatever. So now that they're gonna expire soon, I've been giving her these little milk boxes instead of giving her, like, her little sippy cup with her milk. So I gave her milk carton, I guess another day. And then yesterday I gave her another milk carton. And Riley took her milk, and you know, she travels around the house and hides things, puts stuff in corners and stuff, because I'm literally not staring at her all day, right? I'm trying to do other things. And later in the day, Riley comes up to me with a milk carton in her hand, and she's going, and she's making these noises. I'm like, what is wrong with you? And she wanted to spit it out because it was rotted milk. It was milk that was not from that day. So she had found a milk carton from some other day. Hopefully it was just like 1 day old, but I don't know. I honestly can't tell you when that milk carton was from. And you know, she didn't like how that tasted, and so she spit it out and all of that. And then yes, in that moment I was like, man, I suck, because you know, I left the milk out. But I tell you that because you should know that there are moms that sometimes, you know, leave milk cartons out, and that we don't always have it together. I think it's impossible to have it together 24/7. I think one of the worst things that you can say to someone when they're telling you, man, I went through a hard thing, look, I freaking did this wrong, or I left, you know, the laundry in the wash and I forgot to switch it, and I left the milk carton from 2 days ago out. Like when people are like, man, you should have been doing a better job, or like, man, you really should keep an eye on that milk carton. So there should be people that you can like tell these stories to, and they're like, man, you know what? I did the same thing. Or you know what? Even worse, look what I did. And it's okay. We're literally just trying to survive. We're trying to keep our kids alive. We're trying to keep ourselves somewhat sane. At this point, you're probably watching my videos like, man, that girl needs help. My point is, again, we're doing the best we can. Taking it a day at a time. We are living through history, through something that most people haven't lived through, with everything that's happening. So give yourself some grace. We're all doing a great job. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me. I hope that you guys have an awesome month ahead, an awesome day, week, whatever. And just know that if you're going through a rough time, you are not alone. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.